Hello, Bob's Barbecue here. Gonna do a startup, clean the grates real good. I'm gonna run it up to 350. I'm gonna try out the preheat procedure that the manual calls for lower temperatures, see how well that works out. This is the Pit Boss Pro Series 1600 Elite PSE, and if you follow along on my YouTube channel, Bob's BBQ, I've been doing several different videos and different various updates, controller replacement, burn pot replacement, and so forth. And I also have some modifications coming. Be trying those out as well. So let's get this thing fired up and see how she rolls. Going up to 350 degrees. I have a mixture of lumberjack competition blend and char hickory pellets in the hopper. And the hopper clean out worked pretty good. You still have to reach your hand in there and you know, kind of get them to go down the chute. I took the guard out pretty much day one. I like to mix my pellets around in the hopper. I put 2 different type pellets and mix them up by hand, just the way I roll. So let's get this thing started up. Hopefully that smoke will get rid of some of these mosquitoes. Well, I need to set the temperature on there, don't I? I've had some people asking me what the differences are between the 1600 Pro Series Elite and the 1600 Pro Series Elite PSE. And I'd like to dive further into that topic in a separate video. There's 3 main things that pop out to me. I think there's another one that I'm forgetting, but the one is the controller is different. Number 2, the igniter, the hot rod is different. It's a, I don't know what the best terminology to use for it, but it's a rapid DC igniter. The controller's different, and also the part that was stainless around the hopper was stainless color on the other one. It's painted black on this one. The shelf is also, not sure on the other one if it had a solid shelf or not. I'll have to do some more research to find out all the exact details, but those are the ones that stick out off the top of my head. About 10 minutes and we're almost at 275. $350 degrees in about 15 minutes. I'm going to let it stabilize here for probably 15-20 minutes. I'll edit out the video and then I'll come back and I'm going to drop the temperature back down and see how well it does. Old habits are hard to break. This is the way Pit Boss says to do it in the manual. I, by theory, do not like to go from a high temperature to a low temperature. Historically, that's a recipe for a burn back in the auger, and that's why you see smoke coming out of your hopper, because you have such a roaring flame when you got high temperatures, and then you set it down to a low temperature, your fan starts to die down, you stop feeding pellets, and the fire starts wanting to travel back up into the auger tube. So it's actually I've always considered it good practice to step it down before you just turn it off. I go down to about 225 and then turn the grill off. Or if I'm going to go down to like 160 or 170 or something, I would go to 225 first, let it stabilize there for about 5 minutes, and then drop it down lower. So I'll come back here in a few minutes. All right, we stayed real stable at 350 degrees, and I dropped the temperature from the app from 350 down to 225. We'll see how well that goes, and then from there maybe try dropping it down to 185 or 195. I actually think it's taking longer to go from the higher temperature back down to the lower temperature than it did to start, and just go up to the lower temperature. I somewhat agree that it may help stabilize temperatures, but it seems like it takes an awful long time to go from 350 back down to, say, even 225. Your mind is agree. I think that the way I heard it the last time, I went to 225. I think it was pretty good. It took a little bit longer, but it didn't overshoot. Hell, right on it. I forget what the time was, 15, maybe 16, 17 minutes, I forgot. But yeah, it's taking a long time for it to go from 350 down to 225. Okay, it shows we're down at 225 now. And looks like it's starting to produce. Well, it started producing some smoke around 250 ish in that area, but now it's starting to produce more. All right, we've pretty well stabilized at 225. I would like to change it over to the smoke mode, and let's run it on the smoke mode level 5. We'll run it like that for a little while. We'll maybe bump up the temperature, run it at that. I would like to know a little bit more about how the VST technology works. I know it's different than the older style pit bosses with the P settings. The P settings on the older models generally was strictly a time auger on off setting, and whatever you had it set at, it adjusted the temperature when you were in smoke mode from anywhere from maybe 160, 170 up to maybe 205, somewhere in there. And depending on the weather conditions, I believe that this, I don't know if all the Pro Series are this way or just the Elite PSE, but it seems to hold the temperature no matter where you set it, even if you're in the smoke mode. So maybe it's using a hybrid combination of the PID controller and the timed interval. So let's throw it on and we'll see what happens. We're in smoke mode, P5, and we'll go back to the it's kind of hard to see the smoke, but it is smoking. We're just now in the second cycle of the smoke mode. I know it's kind of hard on camera to see it and with the shadows and everything else, but you can see some of it now in the video. It looks like you can see it. But as you can see, the temperature is holding at 225, and I don't believe I'm going to have enough battery to do the experiment today, but I would like to set it at either 250 or 275 with the same smoke mode settings and do a comparison of with it and without it to see how big a difference it makes at a little bit higher temperature. We all know that these grills smoke, you know, down at lower temperatures. How big a difference would it make at say 250 or 275? That would be a good test. My phone battery is getting low, but just to, this is a you know, a good demonstration of how the P settings and the smoke mode with the VST, whatever they call it, technology differs from the older models with the P settings. It's my understanding that you can use this at any temperature within reason. I mean, I don't think you're going to get much smoke at above 300 degrees pretty much on any pellet grill. But if you can hold a good smoke level at 250, 275, that's a big difference than the old way of having it in smoke mode and you're stuck down in the 180, 190 range. And it's surprisingly holding temperature very well, even in the smoke mode. I didn't think it'd hold quite that much. I would think it would vary more within 3 to 5 degrees. And it could be. I do not have my other external probes hooked up to it. Some of these newer model controllers, I know several of them, they use, especially once it hits a set point, they use an averaging technique. It just kind of fools the user so the user's not freaking out every time it jumps 1 or 2 degrees. So alright, I think I'm gonna end this video, and if you have one of these grills, follow along. I'll continue to keep doing more experiments, cooks, and waiting on a couple of mods to put in there and see how it affects the temperatures. I have not really done an in-depth test yet. I think I've got 2 ambient temperature probes, but I think that's all I've got at current. So I don't really, I guess I could get some oven thermometers and put them in there in different places, but there's enough research already out there on that. I believe the science behind it. That's why I ordered the heat deflector mod and the gap mod. It just makes sense to me. And as you can see right now, it's smoking pretty good. But I'm gonna put those on, and probably gonna have a short cook coming up in the next day or two, and then probably try to plan a longer overnight cook within the next week or so. So far, pretty happy with it. Had a few hiccups in the beginning, and but so far seems pretty good. The true test will be when I do some food, some brisket. That's where you really put it to the test. So stay tuned. Catch you on the next one.